Welcome to Wading into Retirement. Today we are going to spend the day at Jardin Botanico.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Mike.
And Laura.
So we took a day trip with some friends to the Botanical Gardens, which was probably about 2 or 3 kilometers outside of San Miguel.
And we discovered the Botanical Gardens when we were taking our dogs for a dog walk around. You saw the dog sign that no dogs are allowed in the Botanical Gardens, but that's okay. You start by entering a beautiful gift shop featuring a lot of crafts and arts from local artists, and they can tell you a little bit about each one of them. I did luckily leave with a little planter and a little plant from one of the indigenous plants. But they have a great selection at very reasonable prices.
Yeah, there aren't many shops that Laura visits that she doesn't leave with a bag.
There is true. That is true. But with this, it's a nice little commemorative of our day there, spending with friends and having a great time.
But I will say, I thought that the gift shop was very nice. I thought it may have been a little Mickey Mouse thing, but there was a lot of things there, as you can see.
Well, and I think it really was indicative of the culture and the area. I think for me it was more, like you said, not the Mickey Mouse-ness to it.
So here we are heading into the Interpretive Hall.
And this is a space that they do have temporary exhibits associated with, things like art, science, and popular culture. And they do have various activities held throughout the year. We did learn a lot about the local plants, the local insects, animals, and it was really nice because there was information in Spanish and in English, but you can always use the app on your phone to translate too.
Yeah, they had some insect exhibits there that were scary. I'm hoping to never run into those in real life.
And then as you leave the building, they have a topographical map, which is great for kids, interactive, and you can see where you are. And it gives you an idea of all the trails.
So from here, we went up to an elevated platform, which really just gave you a look across various areas of the park.
And it's so much to complete in one day. We actually kind of picked our routes, to be quite frank. We took the area that looked like it had a greenhouse. We all decided that we wanted to go over the dam, and then some of the party also wanted to check out some of the artwork that was also put in.
In 2004, the Botanical Gardens was selected by the Dalai Lama, the leader of the Tibetan people and a Nobel Peace Prize winner, to be consecrated as a peace zone during his visit to Mexico. 5 peace zones were then selected as spaces free of violence and weapons, committed to nature conservation and community development.
Interestingly enough, in the second week of July, on the grounds and with the adjoining Landetta Park, there is a traditional and very popular celebration that takes place. It's done by and led by the indigenous communities of San Miguel, which commemorate the founding of the Botanical Garden itself. And it, I think, also takes place at the Cross of the Conquest, located at the Four Winds Plaza.
Interesting.
Well, what's really kind of cool is it started during the solar eclipse of July 11th, which is my birthday, in 1991. I wish it was 1991. And the celebrations include things like the traditional dances, diverse offerings, and it culminates into a traditional, and forgive me because I'm not going to say it properly, but a Huapango Ribino. And as you can see, here's some of the trails on the maps that we were looking at to make our decision on where we want to go. So we are at number 3 on the map, so we just started our journey. The entrance fees was about 100 pesos per person. There's a lovely gift shop that I plan on visiting later, but a lot of the signs are in English as well as Spanish, which has been really nice, learning a lot. Definitely a highlight of our trip so far. We decided to go visit the garden during the dry season, and you can see these wells here are quite empty. I imagine during the wet season they are filled up. I love the shape of these cactuses or cacti. They almost remind me of bongo drums. They are huge and they're very colorful and very beautiful.
I wouldn't recommend using them as bongos on your hands. It might be detrimental to your physical health.
Well, and you are the musician in the family as well, so maybe it would be Michael not do that.
Did you say I'm the magician or the musician?
The musician. Well,
So you can see here the flowers were just starting to come out, which, we did get some color on the walk even though it was the dry season.
and we would like to return in the wet season. We already made that decision after seeing some of the areas and asking about the aridness. But please remember, it is altitude and a very dry, arid community.
So here we are approaching the Conservatory of Mexican Plants. To me it looked like a big greenhouse, but it was called the Conservatory of Mexican Plants.
And inside, Michael's going to take us a quick walk through. You can see that there are several specimens that have been collected by the staff over many years of the various regions of the country, especially cacti, and as I mentioned about the rainy and the wet season, there's succulent plants, and it really shows the diversity of this amazing country.
Yeah, I found the conservatory to be one of the nicer spots in the Botanical Gardens. And it may have just been because there was a little bit more color, there was some water involved, because they could control the climate within the conservatory, which you can't external to the conservatory.
Very true. Everything was very well done. Such a blend of providing walking paths that were even and steps, good space as well for people to walk along, as well as keeping it very much natural and meanderingly.
Hey everyone, Mike here. So we're at the Botanical Garden, And I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This isn't my thing in general, but very nice pathways. They're wide, lots of nice setups. I think we're a little bit out of season. We're in the dry season, so we're not getting a ton of color, but it's certainly a place I'd return to. Now we're going to circle back and check out some more of the park. Yeah. And when you fall, we don't want you to roll us over.
Entonces yo les pido que me den la mano, pero ni me agarro, simplemente.
My ex-husband would be tightroping across the top of it. He was crazy. And then he'd let the kids do it.
It's video.
Hola, Miguel.
Hello. What do you think of the park?
It's lovely. It's absolutely spiritual. Beautiful.
Don, you're looking a little nervous.
I have my comfort, amiga.
That's what you needed. So this part of the park has a lot of sculptures that were all developed by local artists and placed in the park.
And they've really tried to incorporate the artwork as part of the natural surroundings or use them to really leverage and enhance the artwork. It was kind of a combination. So here are 4 pieces that were done by the renowned artist Geraldo Ruiz Maltonado. He's a resident of San Miguel and had been a resident for about 30 years. You can tell by the sculptures they're an interesting mix, and Michael noticed immediately that the play of the light, both on the color, they're super white, but you can see differences in the color as well as the shadows. And you were trying to think if the time of day made a difference or the time of year. So it was really a good play on the artist's inspiration. I don't think it would have had the same effect, in a building or in an art showroom with artificial light. It really did play on it. We spent quite a bit of time actually walking around those sculptures. They were one of my favorites.
There were also sculptures on the other side of the dam that Laura went to see, but Mike was too scared to walk across the dam.
That's true. And it was almost like it was a little maze that you could walk up. It was quite interesting. And you can see how the dam has been used and continues to be used during the wet season.
Mark McGuire, the baseball player, stopped playing baseball. Plus, he was taking a lot of performance-enhancing drugs.
So we just finished our tour of the Botanical Garden, and I have one question for everybody, and that is, what was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was the greenhouse.
I enjoyed the structures past the dam.
La textura de plantas.
Oh, very authentic.
Very authentic.
Pendejo.
Hi, Don. What was the favorite part of the park for you?
Las sculpturas.
Thanks for joining us. Hasta luego.